I have been seeing so many people today talking about flying standby that it legit made me want to go in and create a listing. I keep sliding back in this seat. Ah. Alright, so for those of you who are new here or who don't know what standby travel is, it's basically space available travel on my airline or other airline. So if there's a seat available and this flight's not weight restricted or anything like that, I have a chance at getting on that plane. Okay, now that we got the basics out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into it. I wrote down a couple things here that I kind of see in like some other videos, or just some things that I feel like could be helpful if you are going to fly standby. So if you have any tips, any tricks, or something that you just kind of like think of or go by, leave it down below in the comments. But let's go ahead and let's get into this. So first of all, I get standby travel from me and my immediate family. So me and my husband and our kids, which are 5 babies, we all get standby travel. And then I also have my parents who are on my travel, and I have a couple buddy passes as well. Let me first start off by saying that I have never, N-E-V-E-R, been denied standby travel on any plane that I have listed for. I've made listings and then decided not to go and cancel, but every flight that I have listed for and actually shown up for, I have always made. A lot of people do ask me, like, how do you always get on your flights, or aren't you worried about traveling with the kids, all those things like that. And like, no, I'm not worried about traveling with my kids, because number one, I always check my flight loads days prior, weeks prior, if I have that much time, same day. Like, I'm looking at flight loads constantly, and I have a backup plan to my backup plan, because you know the first backup plan is like a different flight or two, whatever. Then the next backup plan is like we can drive to get there or whatever the case is. So I always have like a backup plan to the backup plan, so I'm never really worried, and I would never do anything to put me and my family in a situation that would just make us stuck anyways, you know what I mean? One of the like main things that I do a lot is I do book a lot of through flights, and a lot of carriers do this. If yours doesn't, ignore what I'm gonna say. If yours does, good for you. But we have through flights, and so a lot of airlines will allow you to book on a through flight as a standby passenger, and as long as you make that first leg, you can't be denied onto the second leg of the flight or third, whatever it is. As long as the flight number remains the same for your through flight, you can't be denied boarding. And so, like I said last time I said this in the video, a lot of people got mad and were offensive about it, but if your airline doesn't do that, then that's on you, bro. But some airlines do. One of the easiest ways to make sure you get on a flight is to catch that first flight of the morning out, because a lot of people oversleep, they miss flights, they underestimate security time. So like, that's the number one thing I always tell people. If you're able to and you're a morning person, whether or not you are a morning person, I guess, really, you should just get up and get on that early morning flight, because that's when we have the most people who like miss the flight. And then after that, all those people who missed that first flight, they just start trickling down to the other flights throughout the day, so you'll slowly start to see the numbers change. So first flight of the day if you can. Okay, so one thing I did when we recently went to Hawaii, I took me and 4 of my kids to Hawaii. And so this is something I look at also, is like neighboring cities. So I knew we were going to Honolulu, but if we flew to Maui first, there was going to be a better chance of getting on. So looking at like neighboring cities, or cities, airports that are like within a certain range or that have open seats, always look at all your options. So we went from San Jose to Maui, and then Maui to Honolulu, instead of going straight from San Jose to Honolulu, because there was just less seats. So we took an extra flight to make sure that we could get on. Do you know what a low fly day is? Like, do you have that? If not, you should ask about it. But try to book your flights on low fly days or days during the week, because that's when we fly. Very rarely do you see us coming on the weekend. Like, we might be coming back home on the weekend, but when we're flying out, we fly during the week. Number one, the hotels are cheaper. Number two, there's usually a lot of seats on those flights, especially like those Tuesday, Wednesday flights. Clutch. My camera battery died, so I had to change it out, but there's a couple more things I want to just say really quick, and then I'm gonna let you guys go on about your day. So first thing I want to say is, like, wait until the plane pushes back from the gate. Like, don't wait until the door closes. That's what a lot of people say. They're always like, oh, wait until the door closes, see if you can get on. No, wait until the plane is like pushed back and you see that thing rolling, because there's so many times that I am working the flight and the door upstairs is closed, but on the plane it's not, and a passenger decides to come off, or something happens, you know, and they come off the plane, and then I have an open seat that I could actually put like a standby passenger on, but they're gone, so I don't get to put them on. So just wait until the plane pushes. You never know what happens. Like, I always just wait. If you've never had to sleep in the airport, you better get ready, because flying standby, at some point in time, you're gonna sleep in the airport. I don't care if it's for an hour, if it's overnight, whatever the case might be, you're gonna sleep in the airport at some point in time. So every time I travel, I always have a travel blanket with me, and then I have like all my like necessary things, toothbrush, all that stuff. But be ready for it. Be ready to sleep in the airport. Know which one of your airports are always 24 hours, which ones aren't. Know the curfews, all the things. Like, you have to do your research. Okay, this is the last thing, I promise, and then I'm really gonna go because I'm so stuffy. I'm sure you can hear it. Okay, so last thing is, if you have flight benefits, you want to use them, don't use them. Wait, if you have flight benefits, you want to use them, don't lose them. I tell people all the time, like, your flight benefits are there for you to use, not for you to lose. You know what I mean? So ways you can lose your flight benefits is by showing up dressed inappropriately to the gate and a customer service agent reports it. But the main reason I see people get emails sent about them from other airlines and from my airline is because they come over and they have like a crappy attitude and they're talking crazy and they're just doing things that are unethical to the customer service and boarding agents, and that can cause you to lose your flight benefits, bro. So if you have people who are on your benefits and you know that they're like the type to pop off, or they're just like really ruthless, really disrespectful, they don't know the rules of standby, you might want to have that conversation with them, or when the time comes, go ahead and pull them off your benefits, because a lot of people lose their flight benefits behind people who are on their benefits, not behind themselves. But not once have I ever been disrespectful to anyone at the airport. You won't ever catch me being disrespectful to anyone at the airport, but not just because I don't want to lose my flight benefits, but it's just like, they're people, and it's not really that serious to act crazy in the airport and make yourself look stupid, because at the end of the day, what do you have to lose? Like, everything. What do they have to lose? Nothing. You know what I mean?